So I did my base off oh my Lanta. My cat. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and welcome to today's video. For those of you that are new, I am Maya, and welcome to the video, everyone. Today we're going to be creating this look right here that I have on right now using the Morphe Such a Gem palette. Now this palette has been out for a short while, but of course I wanted to put my 2 cents on it and create something using this palette and see if I actually really liked it. You'll have to watch to the end to see my final thoughts. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any time that I post, or, you know, just do it. Without that being said, let's jump into the video. For today's video, we are going to be doing not necessarily a first impressions, but a review and a demo with the Morphe Such a Gem palette right here, and bought it for myself for my birthday. So I did my base off camera, so then the whole look could be focused on the palette. And like I said before, I've only played around with this palette once, but I didn't hate the palette. But if you can see it from here, these are the shadows. You get bigger ones in the center. There's some pressed pigments, there's some glitters, well, just a single glitter, but pressed pigments, glitters, all that jazz, everything that's kind of gem toned or jewel toned. So I'm just gonna mess around with this and see what else I can come up with. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. Looking at this palette, I think the only thing that I don't like, and I think this goes for a lot of Morphe palettes, most of the formulas are pretty good, but with the palettes specifically, most of them, like 95% of them, don't have shade names in the palette, and that's kind of like, that's kind of annoying for me, but it's not that big of a deal as long as the product itself performs and the product is good. It's really what it's about, but that bothers me. Before I dive into the palette, I'm just going to take my little mirror right here, and I'm going to use my P.Louise base, and I'm going to prep my eyes just to make sure I have a tacky and sticky base, because I want those colors to have a chance. And I'm going to do this the best that I can, like, so you can see, but I'm just going to take my P.Louise base and prep. I'm just going to take my P.Louise base and prep my lids. I'm going to do it to both sides. And not dragging, but more so patting, because I don't want to tug and pull on my eyelids. Alright, now I'm going to do the other eye. Now everything I did use off camera for my face, I will list down below just in case you are curious what I used. And unfortunately I won't list the shade names because I don't know them. The insert, I think, is the most annoying thing ever. It's nice, it protects the shadows, but overall I don't want to keep looking back and forth behind a palette or at an insert for shade names. Plus when it's bigger, it's just even more of a nuisance, and it's just, oh, it's so aggravating. Just put them on the front. Now that I have prepped my eyes, I'm thinking, looking at the top of the palette, I'm going to use this top shade right here as my transition. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a big fluffy brush here, which is my Morphe 505. So I'm going to take that shade right there, tap off the excess, just kind of put it on the inner and outer third. Now, like I said, I've only used this palette one other time, and I actually was quite pleased with it. I do like the whole monochromatic theme that's been happening lately. ColourPop's been doing it. Jeffree kind of did it with a few palettes, and I really do like that. Very, very cool. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the other eye. Just keep it focused on the inner and outer. Now I also will not swatch all 35 shades. There are 35 shades in the palette, and it does retail for $35, I believe. It does retail for $35, but I'm not going to swatch all 35 shadows. One, I don't have the arm space. Two, as cool as it is, and from time to time I might do a swatch here and there, but a swatch it's not a good indication as to whether that shadow is going to perform. So the only way to truly really know is to buy it, try it, and use it with your everyday products and see if it's something that's for you. And unfortunately, that's just how a lot of things have to be. It's trial and error. New shampoo, skincare, that kind of stuff. I'm going to go ahead and take my Morphe 330 brush right here. I'm going to dive into this bottom shade right here, this like kind of purpley. There's a shade up here, it looks a little bit more indigo, bluish purple, but I'm going to use this one on the bottom. And then do the same thing. I'm going to take it to the outer and inner third of my eye. And all I'm doing is just kind of pressing it in to help shape how I want this eye look to go. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Just kind of gently pat it, and then I will go over and buff it out. So sidebar, I have a whole new backdrop. I'm so excited, and obviously I set up my ring light. So I have my ring light, I have a camera mount, and then I have a whole new background to actually film. I have a whole new background to film with, which is awesome. I just need to get more backdrops to kind of switch out colors, but I'm kind of just testing it out, and I actually kind of really do like this. The lighting's a hell of a lot better. The ring light really does help focus light in the areas that I need it to, and it doesn't look super crowded or like just dark, which is kind of cool, and I'm pretty excited. So now I just kind of have to worry about looking at cameras, new cameras, and laptops and whatnot to try to beef up my setup so I can put out really, really good quality content. Alright, so I think I'm actually just going to cut my crease, and I know I do that all the time, but it's awesome. I think cutting the crease, doing a halo eye, something that shows a little bit more creativity, also just helps show the range of the palette too, because I'm using more colors, or just the artistic, like just the artistry behind it, I think is really cool. So, sorry. So I'm gonna, like always, take my P.Louise base, and I'm just gonna go ahead and cut my crease. Alright, now that I've got the one side done, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other. So I'm going to actually take that shade that I used in the beginning right here, and then just take it to the bottom lash line just to make sure that we connect everything all together. And I'm going to use my JH40 for that, just to get kind of closer and to make sure everything's blended before I go ahead and apply color to the lid. With the shadows that I'm seeing, just a couple, but nothing that's super bad. That doesn't necessarily mean the palette's not good, it just means they're very soft, or they're pressed a little different apart from ingredients. Alright, so now that I've got that bottom shade down, I'm going to actually dip into that purple that we used as well, just to make it a little deeper, that guy right here, and then take it to the bottom as well. Same brush, the JH40, tap away the excess and kind of just marry those two colors together, just to get it a little bit darker. To make sure there's no fallout right there on my lids. I'm going to take my JH42 right here. I'm thinking that I want to take this shade right here into the tear duct a little bit, and then kind of see how that looks. So I'm going to gradually take it lighter to darker on the outside. I'm going to then go ahead and use my Morphe Continuous Setting Spray Mist here, and then just kind of dampen my brush. I've also been trying this out. I've only used this a couple of times, and it's not bad, but I prefer my Mario Badescu spray though. It just gets a little bit more, I don't it just gets things a little bit more wet. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that shade and just take it to the inner part of my eye. Bring it just a little bit to where we cut our crease. Yeah, the only issue that I have with the Morphe setting mist is it just doesn't get things wet enough to pick up a lot of pigment, but it does do a great job of setting the face. It just doesn't get things wet enough to stick. See, it's not just, it's like eh. My brush still feels kind of like lightly dry. I'm just gonna grab it. So I just used my Mario Badescu spray just to spray that. I just used my Mario Badescu spray to spray that down again. And I don't know if you can see, but it just gets a little bit more product on there. Let's see if that helps. Just a little bit more. I'm gonna dive into the shade right here, the champagne kind of shade right here in the center. And I'm gonna make sure it's just actually soaked. I'm gonna spray my brush with my Mario Badescu spray. I'm still gonna take that JH42 and I'm gonna go into that champagne shade and kind of take it on the lid a little bit. Just kind of blend them ever so slightly together. And then I'm gonna take this shade right here, same brush. I'm gonna take this shade right here, this kind of, I don't know, mauve-y reddish kind of shade, I guess. I don't even know what to call that. But I'm gonna take the same brush, which is a little bit wet, and then I'm gonna take it just on the outside of where I took that. Just make sure you kind of blend the two shades together. You want it to look like a nice soft gradient. And then take the same thing to the other side, or take the same shade to the other side. And just keep it just on the outer part. Make sure you slightly blend them together. I'm actually really liking how these shadows are performing. The shadows I used before and then the shadows that I'm using right now are actually not bad at all. So far the only issue I see is like the shade names, which is more of a packaging issue rather than a product problem. And there's just a little bit of fallout with it's nothing serious, but I'll show you if you can see. Like right on the top shade right here, that kind of kicks back just a little bit when I kind of just touch it, just a little. But even then, if it kind of fluffs out or it's, you know, not too much of an issue for you, you can easily just take your brush and pick up the excess product. Or, you know, if it is a problem, don't buy it. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and take this black shade right here and probably mix it with this shade right here. So if I hold the palette right, these two shadows in the bottom, this one's a little bit more black. There's a lot of glitter in it, or like speckles of glitter, and then this one's kind of a like lighter black, almost brown, but it kind of has some purple tones in it. I think that's because of the shimmer. So I'm gonna go ahead and same brush, kind of just pat it on the outside. I don't want to go in too heavy just in case it does mess up the look a little bit. So I'm just kind of going to pat that shade. And then take that black shade and then just kind of top it off just a little. And same thing, marry the two shades together a little bit. You don't want it to look like you're just slicing color. But I don't know if you can see, there's just a little bit of the fallout. And it's not like I'm swirling my brush around, but I am kind of patting and dabbing. Take it a little in. That's all I'm doing. I'm just going to take my little brush right here and just kind of swoop it out of the way. And then same thing on the other side, take that softly to the other side and marry the two shades. So that's kind of how we're looking. I'm going to take my Morphe 505, or just kidding, I'm going to take my Morphe 330 brush right here and kind of just slightly buff out. I want all of that to look really, really seamless. And I'm just taking this shade right here, this kind of soft Barbie pink shade right here, and I'm just buffing on the outside of the eyeshadow that I've already placed down. Kind of just ties the look together just a little bit and softens the edges of those darker shades. Okay, so then setting aside the palette, I'm gonna take my Makeup Revolution felt tip liner here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and line my eyes. If you want me to do some tips and tricks on liner looks, or just with a felt tip, just how to do eyeliner tips and tricks, let me know in the comments below and I will definitely do a video on that. Okay, now that we have the liner on, I'm gonna go ahead and take my Honest Beauty mascara here. It comes with the primer on the other side and mascara here. I'm gonna go ahead and take my mascara primer and take it to the lashes. I've actually been loving this mascara more and more the more I try it. The more and more I try it. I've never actually used an eyelash primer before, but I think I'm going to now. Apart from the applicator being kind of prickly, just a little bit for me, overall it's still great and I think I'm kind of getting past it. Perfect, so now that that is going to set, and I'm going to let that dry down, I'm going to use my Urban Decay black liner in the shade 0 here, and I'm just going to take it to the bottom lashes, or bottom lash line, and just to darken it up a little bit. No one looks cute doing mascara or eyeliner, just saying. I feel like you just can't help but like drop your mouth. You're like, ugh. All right, now that I got the liner on, I'm just gonna run through with my mascara here, my Honest Beauty mascara. And I don't know if I want to put lashes on. I'm kind of liking it without. Plus, I have really long lashes anyways. I don't know why I always want to put on fake lashes. And take it to the bottom. I feel like sometimes it just gives it more oomph. I just got it on my eye. Okay, so while I let my mascara dry, I'm gonna go ahead and do my lips and jump into highlighter, and then I think once we've completed everything, I'll come back with some lashes on, I think. We'll see. So I'm going to take my MAC lip liner in Oak. It's the only nude lip liner pencil I have. And then I'm just going to line my lips. So I'm pretty sure everyone knows how to do this. And everybody's lips are a little different. So I'm going to line my lips and then kind of fill in just a little bit. And same thing to the top. So now that I've lined my lips, I'm going to take my Kylie High Gloss lip gloss in the shade Snatched, and I'm just going to apply that all over the lips. Now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and take my Morphe Continuous Setting Mist right here and take it all over the face. I'm going to take my Bougie fan and just dry the face. Alright, now that I've sprayed my face, it's slightly tacky, so I'm going to go over with highlighter. I'm going to take my newest purchase, my Becca Cosmetics highlighter in Champagne Pop. This is the collector's edition, I think. Just that classic Champagne Pop. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my rose gold Morphe brush. It doesn't have a number. I need to switch that up. I'm going to go ahead and take my highlighter and just hit the tops of the cheeks. Center of the nose. Tip of the nose. And side of the temple here. So I'm going to actually take my JH39 brush right here, and I'm going to still take that Champagne Pop highlighter and take a little bit on the brush and then touch the inner corner a little bit just to amp that up and take it just underneath the brow. Just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and pop on lashes and then we will do final thoughts. Alright, so lashes are on, eyes are complete, and I completed this look using the Morphe Such a Gem eyeshadow palette. Now, for the most part, I've only used this palette twice, one other time before now, and I actually don't mind the shadows. The only thing, like I said, and I sound like a broken record at this point, I don't like the fact that the shade names are not on the palette. I also don't understand the purpose of having the bigger pans in the palette. I don't think I would use this one more than this one, if anything, you know, but I do like the color scheme of the palette, and the shadows do perform quite well, apart from the little bit of fallout that you see if you can. But I actually thoroughly enjoyed this palette, and a lot of these shadows are very, very beautiful. But like always, go ahead and buy whatever you want at your own accord. You try it, buy it if you want. You could always return something. In no way, shape, or form am I pressuring you to buy this palette, but I actually really did enjoy this palette and creating this look. So final thoughts on the Morphe Such a Gem eyeshadow palette. I thoroughly actually enjoyed this palette. I bought everything that you see today, or everything that I used in this video today, I bought with my own money. So this palette retails for $35. It is quite hefty. It's quite big. Alright guys, this is the final look using the Morphe Such a Gem eyeshadow palette. If you enjoyed this video, please comment, like down below. If you thoroughly enjoy my videos and my content and support me in this channel, please do hit that subscribe button, and you'll always stay posted whenever I post a video. Yeah? I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys!